Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is upload number 1 of 2 today. Yes, today is a double upload day, so you're welcome. But this had to be done. This is your reaction to my Premier League final predictions at the start of the season. We've reached the end of the Premier League season. Yesterday, 38 games have been played. We now know the final standings and how the Premier League season has ended. We look forward to August 14th, 15th, I think it is, where we start the brand new season. But for now, we look at how wrong my predictions were. Now, disclaimer, every single YouTuber that's done this has got it wrong. If you find one YouTuber that has got it absolutely spot on from first place to last place, you get them to play the lottery for you, because that's just bonkers as far as I'm concerned. But we're going to get to it. What I'm going to do, the format of this is, on this side, I'm going to have my predictions that I made at the start of the season, and on this side I'm going to have the actual final standings as of yesterday, where we've reached the end of the Premier League season. So without further ado, let's get into it and see how wrong I was. This right here is my predictions and how I predicted it to end. This was the video that I done. You can see right here, that was me at the time, wearing, my Chelsea top. Very, very excited and very pumped up that Chelsea were going to go on and win the league. That absolutely went down the drain. That didn't happen. But those were my predictions. This is how it's actually ended. What we're going to do is we're going to compare, starting with these predictions at the bottom and then working our way up, whilst at the same time comparing how it actually finished on this side of the table. So let's start off. We started with Fulham as the last placed team. Bottom of the league, I predicted Fulham, and I wasn't far off. They finished 18th, and to be honest, if we're talking relegation, I got 2 out of 3 correct. I got Fulham in last, and I got West Brom in 19th, and West Brom did finish 19th, so I've got 1 right. Get in there. So that's 1 team right. Aston Villa, I put 18th, and I could not have got that any more wrong, because Aston Villa have actually finished 11th, so they've exceeded my expectation, and yesterday they definitely did that by beating us. So yeah, let's not talk about Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I predicted 18th, they finished 11th, fair play to them. West Ham, I put 17th. I could not have got this any more wrong. I really couldn't. I thought they were going to, my logic at the beginning, I thought they were going to flop. I thought, the Gold, Sullivan, what's her name? That woman that they've also got on the board, I forgot her name. She works for Alan Sugar on The Apprentice. I flipping forgot her name. Karen Brady, that's her name. Yes, those 3 I thought were going to ruin West Ham. I just thought, you know what, there's no hope for them. They are going to go absolutely down the drain. They are going to struggle, much like we've seen them struggle. But they've done absolutely brilliant. They have sealed a Europa League spot, so congratulations to West Ham. They were in contention for top 4 up until two games ago, so they really, really went on till the end. Fair play to David Moyes and West Ham. Congrats on getting a Europa League spot. But yeah, my prediction was very, very wrong. Now, Southampton, I put 16th, and they actually finished 15th. Now, I'm going to remind a lot of people here, because at the start of the season, I said they were going to struggle. And they started the season quite well, if you remember. And everyone was like, oh no, Southampton, they're going to do brilliant. They're going to be, in a contention for a European spot. They're looking good. They beat Liverpool, and everyone was like, oh my God, Southampton. No. They were always going to struggle. I'm going to be a bit shameless here, I'm not going to lie. They were always going to struggle. I got this right. Okay, I was one place off. I put 16th, they finished 15th, but as far as I saw it, they were always going to struggle. They just didn't have the minerals to go all the way. Simple as that. So I was close with that one. Brighton, I put in 15th, they finished 16th. So, I mean, you can say I got Southampton and Brighton correct. You could say that, yeah. I'm going to put that down as a 0.5 to each, right? Because all you got to do is swap them, and I've got it spot on. But Brighton, I put in 15th, they finished 16th. Again, quite predicted. I put Burnley in 14th, and Burnley finished 17th. So not far off, but they done a bit less, a bit worse, should I say, than I thought they were going to do. But again, that range around mid-table, low mid-table is where we all expected Burnley to be. So we move. Newcastle, I put in 13th, and Newcastle actually finished 12th. So again, not far off with that one, not far off. I think the teams in terms of the lower mid table places, everyone could have predicted whereabouts they would have been. So Newcastle I put 13th, they finished 12th. Pretty much on the money there. Leeds I put in 12th, and they exceeded my expectations. I knew that Leeds were not going to struggle. And I said this in my video at the time. I did say that I knew Leeds were going to be that team that are going to finish in a place that exceeds many expectations. But I didn't think they'd finish top half of the table. I'm not going to lie. I thought maximum would be 10th, not 9th. And they finished 9th. So honestly, fair play to Leeds. They have absolutely crushed it. They've received a lot of criticism, especially with Bielsa and the way that they play, and that Leeds are just vibes. And they can't defend, save their lives, but all they do is attack, and they try to play the style of football that just tries to attract the world. And I mean, look, let's have it right. With the resources they have and the players that they've got, they've done flipping amazing to finish 9th. They've exceeded, they've gone past Everton, they've gone past Aston Villa, they've gone past Wolves, when we're going to get to Wolves, they've just finished behind Arsenal. You can't ask for more from a team that's just climbed up from the Championship. And honestly, moving into next season, if they can get a few signings, I think they will definitely be on the right path to reclaim where they used to be. They used to be a Champions League side. They used to be a European side. Maybe they're on the way back. Maybe. But they're currently in the process, and you never know how they're going to do. I have high hopes for Leeds United. We'll see how they do. But that prediction of 12th, they did better. They finished 9th. Crystal Palace, I put 11th, and Crystal Palace finished 14th. To be honest, I reckon they should have finished around 11th, especially with the end of the season that they've had compared to the start. They let themselves down at the beginning. And at the end, especially with the news that Roy Hodgson is leaving Crystal Palace, and now he's had his last game with them, it looks like the players really did actually try for him in the end. So Crystal Palace finishing 14th, I think they should have done a bit better, but it's not the end of the world. 14th, 14th, 12th, 11th is pretty much the same thing. In the Premier League, you don't really, lose anything. So fair play to Crystal Palace. Sheffield United. Sheffield United, I put 10th. I am safe to say, I don't think anyone predicted they were going to finish last. And in the manner that they did, I put 10th based on the fact that they done so well last season. They were close to a European spot. They were beating all sorts of teams. I mean, they beat us, They were looking really, really good. And they were looking like a team that I described Leeds. A team that's developing and on the right path and has the minerals and resources to actually, try and be in contention for a European spot. But they've just absolutely crumbled. I mean, I could not see a larger fall from grace than Sheffield United. From what they had last season to this season, if you had told me at the start of the season that they would be finishing bottom, one of the worst performing teams in Premier League history, and heading into the Championship, I would have slapped you in the face. But that is exactly what's happened. They have just been catastrophic. Sheffield United finishing bottom, and they deserve it as far as I'm concerned. You can't perform the way that they've performed this season and say that they don't deserve to go down. They have been a joke. With all due respect, this season they've actually just been a joke. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't actually pinpoint why. They've had the same manager, at least for a significant part of the season. Chris Wilder's no longer with them, but they've had the same manager, the same players, and they've just gone from such a decent team to disaster. I can't call it why. I honestly can't call why. Simple as that. But they finished last. I got that very, very wrong. I put Leicester 9th, and I honestly thought that they were just going to bottle it. I just thought that they were, well, in the end, they kind of did. But, I honestly thought that they would just bottle it the entire season. They weren't going to, perform. But honestly, fair play to Leicester. They have done very, very well under Brendan Rodgers. They've played a consistent level of football. They've beaten some top sides. They've caused hassle. They've won the FA Cup. They beat us, fair play. We beat them at the Bridge as our little revenge. But, they were in contention for top 4 up until the final day, and that was yesterday, where thanks to Tottenham, Leicester have been denied a top 4 spot. So I put Leicester to finish 9th. I got that very wrong. Leicester ended up finishing 5th and have nailed a Europa League spot. So congrats to Leicester in terms of getting a spot much higher than I predicted them to be. They've completely exceeded expectation, and I think Brendan Rodgers has something very, very good with them at the moment. So we'll see how they do in the summer window, and we'll see how they'll show up next season if they can keep it up. I reckon they can. Now, Wolves, I put in 8th. And again, this is a little fall from grace because just like Sheffield United, they're a mini Sheffield United. I didn't expect Wolves to struggle like this. I expected Wolves to honestly compete for a top 4 spot or at least a Europa League spot. But they've just fallen off. And I can't call why. Again, just like Sheffield United, they've had Nuno. They've had the same players. I can't honestly say why they've just struggled and they've ended up finishing 13th, and it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Now Nuno has left Wolves. I don't know where he's going. Could be Tottenham. You never know, but we'll see. I didn't expect Wolves to struggle like this, but they've ended up finishing 13th, and yeah, disappointing season for Wolves, if I'm being very, very honest. I expected them to be in the mix for a Europa League spot. They've completely failed, and they finished 13th. We'll see how they do next season if they bounce back with a new manager. But Portugal B, unfortunately, no Europa League. Now, Everton I put in 7th, and again, this was a bit of a disappointment. I expected Ancelotti, the signings, and if you remember, towards January, February, Everton were in the mix for top 4. And at one point, where City was struggling at the beginning of the season, they were top, you know, but they've just fallen off. They've fallen off, and it's that lack of consistency towards the end of the season. Everton have ended up finishing 10th behind Leeds. So when you look in terms of the investment, you look at the players that they brought in, the manager that they have, Ancelotti, this, that and the other, 10th isn't good enough. Not good enough at all. Where Leicester are is where I predicted Everton to be. If you look in terms of, you know, competition and the level of teams that they're going to be competing with, I thought Everton would be up there, but they're not. So instead of 7th, they finished 10th. Disappointing for Everton. Arsenal, just, it's actually not that bad. I predicted them to finish 6th, and they finished 8th in the end. I thought they were going to finish 11th. I'm not going to lie. Their season this season has been a complete replica, maybe a little bit worse, of Chelsea's 15-16 season, where Chelsea finished 10th. Now, you're probably going to say, how is that worse if they finished 8th? They scraped it. Up until just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they were 10th. Yeah? And because of the final day, because of the couple of results that they've had, and other teams in their favour, like Everton falling off, they've managed to scrape 8th. Now, they will not be playing European football next season, which is a complete replica of Chelsea in 15-16, but their season has been a joke, as far as I'm concerned. We've seen the protests, we've seen the lack of care from some of the players, we've seen the lack of experience from Arteta, we've just seen chaos at the Emirates. Complete chaos. So I'm actually surprised that they clawed up to 8th in the end. I thought they were going to finish 10th or 11th. They didn't. They finished 8th. Maybe that's a little saving grace. You never know. But yeah, I predicted them to finish 6th. It was quite clear that they were going to decline and they weren't really going to come up there and compete with the big boys. We'll see how they do without European football next season. That could be a blessing in disguise, and it could also be a blessing in disguise in terms of getting Stan Kroenke to sell, because without European football now, he's going to get a hit in terms of his finances. So we'll see if he decides to call it quits and hang up his gloves and sell Arsenal to Daniel Elk. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Arsenal ended up finishing 8th. St. Tottenham's Day is cancelled again because Tottenham have finished ahead of them once again for the 5th year in a row, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Man United I put 5th. And they've definitely exceeded expectation. They finished 2nd. Fair play to Man United because they had a very, very dodgy start to the season. And they managed to claw it back. They really did. I thought they were going to struggle with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the same way that Chelsea struggled with Lampard, in the same way we've seen Arsenal struggle with Arteta. I thought United were going to struggle with Ole. Now, with Ole, you have to say, he's got a lot more experience in terms of being a manager. A lot of people seem to not know this, but he's got like 10 years experience because he was a manager at Malmo, if I'm not mistaken. He was also a manager somewhere in Norway. And yeah, he's ended up coming... he's a manager at Cardiff. He's come to Man United. He's got a little bit of experience. And he's got Alex Ferguson's old right-hand man next to him. So, you know, it's only right that he's got decent backroom staff to help him across the line. But Man United, in the end, have actually looked decent. They've actually looked okay. They've beaten Manchester City. They've done very, very well. Manchester City in terms of a fixture, not in terms of the league title. But Man United finishing 2nd. They've got a Champions League spot. They were comfortably 2nd in the end. You know, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester all fighting for top 4 amongst themselves. But in the end, Man United were comfortable and they got the job done. So, honestly, fair play. In terms of cup competitions, poor. Very poor. We saw the way that they exited the FA Cup, the League Cup, etc. Not good enough. But they're in a Europa League final. So that's a saving grace for them. And I think they're going to win it. So it could be a trophy and second, and that is a good season for Man United. So honestly, fair play to United. Tottenham I put in the top 4 because I honestly thought Mourinho would get them into the top 4. That didn't happen. In the end, they were actually kind of close, but not good enough. Not good enough. And they finished 7th. So they will be playing Europa Conference League football next season. But I'm not going to mock Spurs because they've helped Chelsea get top 4. So honestly, Tottenham, thank you and good luck. Manchester City I put 3rd, and I got this very wrong. I got this so wrong. I did say in my video at the time that I thought Manchester City were going to be a team where they look basic, or they look average, or teams have figured them out and they weren't looking very threatening. I did say in that video that I don't believe that City are going to look very threatening. I remember saying I look at that team and I don't feel scared. And yeah, I don't stick by that now, that's for sure. I got that very wrong. Very, very wrong. They have won the league with flying colours. Flying colours in terms of everyone else struggling. They finished the league, if I'm not mistaken, on 86 points. So that's actually not that great if we're talking in terms of previous seasons, in terms of teams hitting 100 points, in terms of teams hitting around the 90 mark. 86 is a bit of a struggle. They've lost 6 games this season. And for league champions, that's baffling. You know, to lose 6 games and still win the title goes to show you how everyone else has fallen off. That is just the truth. But in terms of remaining consistent, Manchester City have done that. So honestly, fair play to City. They look very, very good. And they're in the Champions League final against us, yours truly. So we'll see how that ends on Saturday. Hopefully, City don't do the double. Or the treble, because technically they won the League Cup, so you know it could be a treble for them, not the official treble, an unofficial treble, but still a treble. So honestly, we'll see how they do. But fair play to Manchester City for winning the league with flying colours. Liverpool I put in 2nd place because I thought that they would at least put a bit of fight in trying to retain their title, but they fell off. They fell off hard. And if you look at that part of the season where they were just losing, they found themselves 7th at one point and in danger of missing European football altogether. The fight back towards the end is something to admire them for, because I didn't expect them to actually claw themselves back up, and they did. They finished 3rd in the end, ahead of Chelsea, ahead of Leicester, which is something that not a lot of us would have predicted. I certainly wouldn't have. And they've got themselves Champions League football for next season, so they can count themselves, I wouldn't say lucky, but they can look at this season and go, yeah, you know what, with how we fell off, we'll take it. We'll take it. Champions League football, we'll take it. And we go again next season. So fair play to Liverpool. Congratulations for getting top 4. And Chelsea I put as 1st. And I got this very wrong. Very, very wrong. In my video, if you remember, I did say, look, with the signings coming in, Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, I remember I listed all of them. And I thought, yeah, you know what? Surely. And we had Frank Lampard at the time. And I thought, with the fact that we finished in the top 4, with these new signings coming in, surely we're going to be competing for the title. Well, we didn't. And there's one reason. We can't score goals. Simple as that. We just can't score goals. Our front men can't shoot. We've got midfielders that can't shoot. I thought Timo Werner was going to come in and become top goal scorer. I think many of us thought that. He hasn't at all. I don't think he's even finished Chelsea's top goal scorer. Has he finished Chelsea's top goal scorer? I'm not sure. I need to look at that. But yeah, that was very, very wrong. We scraped top 4 in the end, and we're in a Champions League final. So again, this could be our saving grace. This could be the one where we look at it and go, yeah, you know what? This could end up becoming one of our best seasons of all time, because we've got top 4 and we've won the Champions League. So fingers crossed come Saturday, we become champions of Europe and we look at the season and go, yeah, you know what? It's actually one of our best seasons ever. So we've still got a chance to redeem ourselves instead of just making top 4 and that's it. Let's see how it all ends. But this is your reaction to my Premier League predictions at the start of the season. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I got it very, very wrong. I got a few teams right, not too many though. But we look forward to next season, and I will give you another predictions video before the new season begins in August. And yeah, I look forward to it. But thank you all so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Don't forget to check out my double upload today. You'll get a Chelsea video later on in regards to a certain Eden Hazard, because there's another rumour popping around. We have to discuss this and clarify the situation. So make sure you tune in. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later on. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care and peace.